NBA. Steph Curry and the Warriors on the road against the Magic. He would start slow. His team would start slow. Golden State down 15 in the second quarter, but look at the range from Steph Curry.
Man, Steph Curry, man, what is it, Mr. February 27th?
February 27th.
Goodness gracious, what is this?
Some magic in this date for him, knocking down threes. This is with 1 second left in the half.
Come on.
Nothing is outside of his range.
Come on. This is insane. This is insane.
The fact that he makes this look so casual and so regular to
Oh,
us.
my God.
Third quarter, I'm just going to let you feast your eyes here on a variety of Steph Curry doing things that maybe only he ever could do. He had 22 points, Rudy, in this third quarter.
Man, it's just like it's so hard to guard. Me being there, I've been on the wrong side of this for so
What's
many
it
years. It's deflating to see someone hit shots like this at the clip that he does. And also celebrate in the fashion that he does adds insult to injury.
Warriors come all the way back. They have a 5-point lead going to the fourth. Now it's a 6-point game. That's Steph's 10th three-pointer of the night. They're up by 9. 3 minutes to go, a 4-point game. They needed all of these. That's his 11th three-pointer of the night. 2 minutes to go. Warriors up just 2 points. That's his 12th three-pointer of the night. When it was all said and done, the Warriors would conclude the comeback, and Steph Curry would score 56 points, tying LeBron James for the second most by a player aged 36 or older in NBA history. You see, only the great Kobe Bryant ever scored more when he scored 60 in what was the final game of his Hall of Fame career. An absolute masterpiece from Steph Curry, and I'll repeat, they needed every one of those buckets. This wasn't him, sort of tacking anything on late. That was a game right to the finish. Windy's up with us early this morning. Windy, what do we say about Steph Curry this morning?
Well, let me give it to you in a form that you and Steph will both appreciate. He made 130 yards of shots last night, 390 feet of shots. I've been at a handful of games like this from Curry. I remember when he did this the first time at Madison Square Garden over a decade ago. I promise you, everybody in that entire building last night will remember this for the rest of their lives. But as you look at the performance, what you take away from it, and I'm sure Rudy can relate to this, he's in his late 30s. All of these shots generally were created by him using his athleticism and tremendous conditioning. Yes, there was some action where he was off the ball, but look at his incredible conditioning at this time in his career and how he's been able to generate so many open shots and how he's got so much energy. The other thing I will say, before Jimmy Butler got there, and this is really not a Butler night. Butler didn't play very well, but if you look at the 8 games since Butler got there, Curry was really having the worst shooting season of his career. Now, worst is relative because he was still in the high 30s on threes. He was still averaging 22 points. In the 8 games since Butler got there, he's been unlocked. He's averaged 31 points, the best in the league in that stretch, and he's shooting 44% from 3. The Curry-Butler combination has helped unlock Steph, although this night was about his greatness.
Yeah, to your point, Jimmy Butler had just 5 points last night, but it has looked a lot better since he's been there. You mentioned it. You were playing basically his entire career. Yes. Was the span of your career. When he gets going like that, what can you do on the other side?
Well, I mean, you were talking about he's having a bad shooting year. Well, his bad shooting year will be a great one for me. So let's put things into perspective.
Pretty much anybody.
Or anybody ever. I mean, Steph is one of those guys, man, once he gets in the zone. Quietly, to me, one of the most competitive players in the history of this game. Because every one of those shots were needed. He does this in the stretch. He does this in the beginning. He's just, he never seems to amaze any of us with how he makes shots. We saw it during the summer with Team USA. He just makes shots when you need him.
When it started, when Steph Curry first became Steph Curry, whenever that was, 12, 13 years ago, remember the conversation was he stretches a defense in ways that no player in NBA history ever has. What other people would consider just chucking something up from distance, those are good shots for Steph Curry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think he redefines what a good shot is. The problem is that, we have a league full of people who are trying to be Steph Curry, and they cannot be Steph Curry. That is the problem. But with him, that is these shots are just crazy. This is I can't even explain it.
So Joe, again, the betting angle of these things is your level of expertise. What does the world think of this Warrior team now post the Jimmy Butler trade? They've looked good. He's looked good.
This was a far more impressive win than I think people give it credit for because it's a sleepy spot for the Warriors. 82-game season, they get mixed into the schedule. This is an Orlando team that had just gotten blown out by Cleveland. Warriors were 6-1 with Butler, so they're cruising. Some games get mixed in, and they were down big and found a way to rally. This completely changes the dynamic of the Western Conference because with the Warriors, you now have 4 teams that can win the title from the West. You've got Oklahoma City, you've got Denver, you've got the Lakers, and you've got the Warriors. Now, that's going to cause issues for people who like the Rockets and Grizzlies. I understand we can dissect that later. But the key to this entire situation, Oklahoma City, by way of winning a 1 seed, should be able to cruise in the opening round. 1 to game 2 to game 3 to game 4. That would be a war for Oklahoma City.
For sure. They can play their way out of the play-in, though, and if they continue to go like this, so we will see. So that was the performance of the night. The game of the night was in L.A. Those Lakers you mentioned taking on the Timberwolves. Spotlight game in an NBA season. LeBron was ready to go. Boy, was he ready to go. Rudy Gay, talk about range. How about LeBron throwing it in from downtown?
Man, look, the bank was open. That's all I gotta say.
He didn't call glass.
He might have. It's LeBron. You know.
Here's Luka. That's LeBron. LeBron had 19 in the first half. Third quarter, Anthony Edwards. He was ready to take over this league in the postseason of last year. Rudy, it hasn't gone that way, and there's been some frustration. He already had 1 technical foul, and he picks up his second and gets tossed right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just frustration. You know, when you plan, you get a game plan and it doesn't go the way you want to, sometimes it gets the best of you. And I think this is something that, you know, he's still a young player. He's gonna get better. He's gonna learn to, hold his emotions in a little better.
It's his 16th technical, by the way. He'll be suspended for tonight's game against Utah. Now we go LeBron again. He would score 33. Lakers lead by 13. Fourth quarter. Clear the decks. Terrence Shannon Jr.
Oh. He's had some good dunks this year, by the way.
He's had some very good ones. Few of them much better than that. The vicious throwdown. 5 minutes to go. The Lakers are leading by 3. It's Luka. He had a tough night offensively, but he gets that one to go. 21 points, 13 rebounds for Luka. He made just 1 3, but it was memorable. Here it comes. 4 minutes to go, somehow gets that to go in a 4-point game. It gives the Lakers a 7-point lead, and they would not relinquish it. LA goes on to win at 111-102. Luka's dad loves what he is seeing, and so the Lakers get another win. They continue to roll in this LeBron-Luka era. Now, despite that clutch 3, Luka is not shooting the ball well since he got to the Lakers. In the 6 games he's there, Luka 11 of 49. That's 22% from 3, 5th worst in the NBA during this span. Windy, you have been there to witness all of it up close and personal. What are we seeing in the struggles here of Luka Doncic?
Yeah, well, his legs just are absolutely not there. You know, when you watch him, he is carrying a big load for them, and that is helping unlock LeBron. LeBron is putting up really good numbers. But you watch him, especially when he's at the end of his shifts, he's overstanding on the side, bent over, holding his shorts. His legs aren't there, and you can see it in his shot. But he is still making an impact. He's rebounding the ball perfectly. He's been in the middle of their offense and creating a lot of stuff. And they're not playing their best basketball right now. They're still figuring things out, but they're really defending, and they've won 9 out of 11 games. And I think I have no doubts that Luka is going to get going on offense. I have zero concern on that whatsoever. I do think, I wonder if the Lakers can keep up this level of defense. They had another good defensive game last night, but obviously Luka still coming back off that calf issue.
He has no doubt about about Luka's ability to get it going. Do you? Do you think Luka gets it going offensively?
Not at all. Not at all. I think he has the luxury of having a LeBron James on his team that can carry the load until he's ready. He's had injuries.
Yeah.
Trades, there's a lot of emotional, things that go on, with trades and him getting back from injury all at once. It's going to take time for him to get his legs.
How long? We've got what is it? 7 weeks left in the season?
Yeah, we need answers now, Rudy.
Well, when you have a competitor on your team and you also have a guy like LeBron that you can see that is giving it his all every day, it makes you want to push to get to that level fast.
Well, and to the point that Fortenbaugh was making, seeding is going to wind up being critical here. Now, we don't really know exactly how it's going to work out, which is to say, in a styles makes fights kind of way, you don't know what slot winds up being the one that you want to be in, but they've got X amount of time to get themselves to be where they want to be at the end of April.
Right now, Luka's shooting a career worst from the field, under 40%. He's got a career worst from 3-point range, and they're still 5-2 since he showed up. That's a great spot to be in. In the modern NBA, Your offense is your floor, okay? Everybody plays offense. The Orlando Magic ranked dead last in the NBA in scoring at about 104 points per game. You take that 10 years ago, that's a top 5 scoring offense.
Yes.
Defense is what matters now, and the transformation the Laker defense has gone through since about January 21st, where up until that point they had been about bottom 8 in the NBA in defensive rating, bottom 8 in field goal percentage allowed. Now they're number 1 in both categories in the 17 games since. The big question, though, can you maintain that through the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs? Because that's what's going to determine how far they go, not whether or not Luka can drop 40 points a game.
Windman.
The J.J. Redick is doing something, I don't know if it's innovative or risky. He doesn't have really a good big man rotation, so he's ordered his team to collapse the paint. And if you watch them play, they're basically betting that these opposing teams aren't as good at shooting threes as they think they are. J.J. Redick, a brilliant three-point shooter, probably gets annoyed seeing how many people try to shoot a lot of threes. For this last month, they've just basically invited other teams to shoot threes. They're giving up the 3rd most number of threes. Teams are missing them. You know, when you dive into the numbers, I mean, Hembo can break it down to you. The Lakers' luck quotient right now is kind of high. The teams are shooting a lower percentage than they quote-unquote should against them, but maybe you could argue that that's JJ just betting on it, saying, listen, let them shoot these threes because we don't think that they're going to make them. So there is a question of whether this is sustainable, but it's now been quite a while, and it is working. It is covering up for their lack of size on the interior, and frankly, it is driving the way the Lakers are playing right now, this J.J. Redick's defensive scheme.
That's really smart and interesting insight, and the tape was absolutely perfect. Rudy, it's funny because you and I were having a conversation this morning about how NBA teams these days want to get up 40, 50 threes a game. What do you think of that strategy? Let them shoot their threes. Let them miss their shots. We will pack it in defensively because we're undersized and we'll take our chances.
Well, from what I've watched, I mean, it's just classic coaching. This is great coaching by JJ. You have your shooters on your opposing teams, you run them off the line, and let the other guys shoot. Let them beat you. And I think that's, that's great awareness by JJ.
I want to finish the conversation with one other thing because I found this stat remarkable, Cindy. A32, if we could. Yesterday was the last game Luka Doncic will play as a 25-year-old. Today is actually his 26th birthday. Luka is one of 2 players with 10,000 points, 3,000 rebounds, and 3,000 assists before turning 26. LeBron James is the other. So 2 players in NBA history have done this. They are teammates as we speak. Obviously, LeBron now much closer to the end than to the beginning. But it just goes to show you the extraordinary talent that this team has. Just keep a close eye. Something special is happening in LA.